Hello everybody, before I start the video I would just like to quickly apologise for the lack of uploads. I recorded this video on Wednesday last week and it is currently Monday. I decided to take some time away from YouTube and spend it with family who I haven't seen in a very long time, and it was probably one of the best few days I can remember in a very long time, so it was well worth it. I hope you can all understand that family is far more important than anything. And with that, let's get on with the video. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Quick Take and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. In today's video, I'll be going over 5 centre-backs Chelsea should look to sign following Wesley Fofana's injury and Trevor Chalobah's likely departure from the club. But before I get into that, I would just like to announce I'm running a giveaway alongside ownersaber.com, where at 15,000 subscribers, I will be giving away 3 King of London lightsabers. All you need to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and fill in the Google form in the pinned comment down below. Okay, let's go on with the video. Chelsea are certainly no strangers when it comes to dealing with injured defenders. Reece James and Ben Chilwell have both had their fair share of time with the club's medical department. However, this time it's the Frenchman Wesley Fofana who's been struck down following a nasty ACL injury sustained during pre-season training. This leaves a nearly 40-year-old Thiago Silva and Trevor Chalobah as our only right-sided centre-back options, although some reports suggest the latter could also leave Chelsea this summer, along with acquiring a partner in the midfield for Enzo Fernandez, a new goalkeeper, and some attacking reinforcements. Chelsea will now have to address this new problem. In this video, I have gathered 5 players who I think Chelsea should certainly consider for this position, looking into their strengths, weaknesses, and their price tags. The first name I'll be looking at is Benfica's Antonio Silva. Silva has had what can only be described as a tremendous outbreak season following his rise through the academy. He made his professional debut for Benfica on the 27th of August and impressed head coach Roger Schmidt immediately. At the time of his debut, he was only 18 years old. The Portuguese defender would carry this incredible form throughout the entire season, his hard work being rewarded with the Best Defender of the Month award for September by the Portuguese League, an astounding accomplishment for the young talent. Antonio Silva can be described as an aggressive but intelligent defender. His natural understanding for positioning and timing for tackles is exceedingly impressive for a player as young as Silva. He plays like a well-versed veteran at times. On the ball, he is very comfortable, very mature, understands when to pass forward, back, or turn a player to escape the press. Speaking of passing, this is one of his strengths. Antonio Silva ranks in the 88th and 98th percentile for passes attempted and passes completed, meaning a lot of build-up play goes through him and he has little issue finding his target with the pass. Silva is progressively minded, averaging 4.01 progressive passes per 90 and 0.9 progressive carries per game, meaning every time I say progressive, you have to take a sip. In terms of fit, Antonio Silva is arguably the best on the list. Young, right-sided centre-back who's very comfortable on the ball, which is handy for Pochettino's build-up play, highly intelligent and fast. Now, in terms of price, this is where things become somewhat contentious. Antonio Silva signed a contract extension until 2027 in September, a contract which included a €100 million buyout clause. FootballTransfers.com reported journalist Fabrizio Romano stated a deal for Silva could cost around €80 to €90 million. It's not cheap, however Antonio Silva's ceiling is non-existent. He's 19 years old and has already made himself an undroppable force in Benfica's defence. In my opinion, a backline of Reece James, Antonio Silva, Levi Colwill and Ben Chilwell could be one of the best in the leagues. However, another issue is he is, of course, a Benfica player. Now, I don't know if you guys are history buffs, but about 7 months ago, Chelsea and Benfica experienced a small disagreement regarding a certain Argentinian midfielder. Strong words were said, and reports suggest discussions almost turned into a physical altercation at one point. The point is, dealing with Benfica again for another one of their star players could result in tears. Next up on the list is Atalanta's Joshio Scalini. Scalini is another young prospect coming out of the Serie A who Chelsea have actually been linked with in the past, with Inter Milan also interested in the 6'4" 19-year-old. Although he is still a teenager, Scalini has matured well into his large frame, using his naturally bigger build to win duels in the air and on the ground. When tackling, he is highly aggressive, preferring to slide in with his whole body to dispossess his opponent. This doesn't mean he is reckless or a foul magnet, however. Scalini has excellent timing and is capable of wrapping his legs around his opponent to win the ball cleanly and effectively. something that usually comes with years of experience and is highly impressive for a 19-year-old to pull off. Although Scalini has been deployed either centrally in a back three or as a left-sided centre-back, from the footage I've seen, he is more than capable of playing on the right-hand side of a defensive pairing. Whether that be Scalvini and Colwill or Scalvini and Badiashile, he will be fine. On the ball, Scalvini has a very forward-thinking mindset, ranking in the 98th percentile for progressive passes and in the 74th percentile for progressive carries, meaning he likes to run with the ball, moving the ball up the field after intercepting the opponent's play. For reference, Scalvini averages 2.16 interceptions per 90, ranking in the 97th percentile compared to other centre-backs. This would be highly attractive for Pochettino and his vertically minded style of play. The price of Scalvini is also far more attractive than that for Antonio Silva. According to Football Italia, Atalanta are demanding at least 40 million euros for the academy graduate, at least half the price for the Portuguese man. He is certainly one to keep an eye on. Next up on the list is AS Monaco's Axel Disasi. Disasi was born on the 11th of March 1998 in Gonesse, France. He started his playing career with Paris FC, a League 2 side, before signing for Reims in 2016 and then Monaco in 2020. Being 25 years old, Disasi is one of the more experienced names on this list, having made a total of 223 appearances across all competitions. Disasi plays as a right-sided centre-back in AS Monaco's back line, whether this be a 3 at the back or a 4 at the back system, meaning he would slide in perfectly into the void left by Wesley Fofana and potentially Trevor Chalobah's move away from the London club. Disasi is a rather quick defender. His short bursts of pace come in rather handy when escaping the opponent's press or making last-ditch tackles to save his team at the last moment. Similarly to Scalvini, Alex Disasi likes to play the ball forward, even run with the ball up the pitch, progressing play into an attacking narrative. He ranks in the mid to low 90s in percentile rankings for progressive passes, carries, successful take-ons and assists when compared to other centre-backs. He also ranks highly for interceptions and aerial duels won, making him a useful player to defend corners and crosses coming into the box, an area which has been somewhat of an issue as of late for Chelsea. Another one of Disasi's strengths is his physical prowess. He has no issue holding onto the ball and using his well-built frame to shield off any attempts from the opponent to dispossess him. The Premier League is a famously physical league, so in theory Disasi should have little to no issue adapting to his new environment. Also, being French isn't an issue, as Chelsea now have multiple French-speaking players, including potential defensive partners Gusto and Badiashile, not to mention Christopher Nkunku and Thiago Silva. The latter spent around 8 years playing for PSG. Chelsea will face competition in the race for Axel Disasi, as Newcastle, Arsenal and Manchester United are looking at the Frenchman as capable options to add to their defences. All teams mentioned can offer European football to the 25-year-old, although this does not count Chelsea entirely out of the race, as the board have been successful in persuading other players of Chelsea's future ambitions and current viability of projects. According to highly reliable French journalist Fabrice Hawkins, AS Monaco are demanding 40 million euros for Axel Disasi's signature, which in my opinion is a fair and respectable price, especially in today's market. The fourth name Chelsea should consider to replace Fofana and potentially Chalobah this season is Gonzalo Higuain of Sporting Lisbon. Inacio was born on the 25th of August 2001 in Almada, Portugal. He started his footballing career with the Almada Academy before joining the Sporting Lisbon Academy in 2012. It wouldn't be until 2020 before he would make his professional debut, and since then he's made 122 professional appearances for Sporting Lisbon. When analysing his heat map for the 22-23 season, it appears Gonzalo Higuain has been deployed both as a left-sided and a right-sided centre-back, meaning he is more than capable of filling the roles asked for him if he were to join the Pride of London. Gonzalo Higuain thrives when he's on the ball. He doesn't treat it like a grenade like some players do. No, in fact, Gonzalo Higuain is probably one of the most comfortable on-the-ball centre-backs in world football today. The Portuguese defender ranks in the 99th percentile for passes attempted at 88.63 per 90 and progressive passes at 9.04 per game. He is also exceedingly accurate when making instead passes, recording a highly respectable 89.6 pass completion rate, better than 94% of all other centre-backs in the world. This passing ability is and always will be deemed highly useful for any team, as it allows for a quick transition from defending and building out play through the opposition's press into an attacking manoeuvre. That being said, he is also very competent when purely defending, specialising in intercepting dribbles and general play. Higuain averages 1.56 dribbles intercepted per 90 and 1.71 interceptions per 90, ranking him in the 83rd and 81st percentile. There are centre-backs like Scalvini who average greater defensive stats, but sometimes it's not all about the numbers. Sometimes football is about instinct and the eye test, and from what I've seen, Gonzalo Gonzalo Higuain has an excellent understanding of balance and, more importantly, how to offset the balance of others in order to make winning the ball far easier. That is what I see in Gonzalo Higuain. When it comes to price, Gonzalo Higuain has a €40 million release clause in his current contract, which does make things a little more easy when it comes to negotiating. Yes, release clause, we either pay it or we don't. $40 million for a young, talented Portuguese centre-back who is very comfortable at distributing the ball and excels in progressing the play up the field. Listen, if Manchester City signed him for $40 million, it will be labelled as a fantastic piece of business. Why would it be any different for us? And to wrap up the top 5 centre-backs Chelsea should look to sign this summer is Bayer Leverkusen's Edmund Tapsoba. The 24-year-old Burkina Faso centre-back signed for Bayer Leverkusen back in 2020 and has played across the defence in this time, meaning he, along with the likes of Gonzalo Higuain, is more than capable of playing in that right side of centre-back position. Tapsoba has emerged as one of Leverkusen's more important players, as his physical abilities along with his passing prowess makes him practically undroppable. This might sound strange, but Tapsoba actually has fairly long legs, even being 6'4", which allows him to make cleaner interceptions without having to throw his entire body into the tackle, meaning when he wins possession, he is on his feet, well balanced and ready to go. When taking a look at its metrics, it might at a first glance come across as underwhelming, as its highest percentile rankings in the defensive department is tackles per 90 at 1.69, landing him in the 64th percentile. However, Virgil van Dijk, one of the Premier League's best centre-backs, ranks in the 4th percentile for tackles and blocks. Sometimes, stats can be misleading. When compared to Trevor Chalobah, there is only one area the Chelsea player exceeds Tapsoba in, and that is forward passing. For the rest, including defensive duels, ball carrying, defensive actions, and progressive passes, Tapsoba comes out on top. In my opinion, the entire centre-back debate centres around Trevor Chalobah and determining whether or not an upgrade is necessary. I do not believe Chelsea can nor will win Premier League titles with Trevor Chalobah in the defence. I do believe an upgrade is needed, and Edmund Tapsoba would certainly be a worthy upgrade. In fact, during Chelsea's discussions with Leicester City when signing Wesley Fofana, Tapsoba was in fact discussed as an alternative to the Frenchman, meaning Chelsea have analysed Tapsoba's game and have determined him to be Chelsea quality. How they feel now, nobody knows, although it is clear Tapsoba is certainly a talented centre-back with a bright future ahead of him. Now, in terms of price, Fabrizio Romano reported Bayer Leverkusen would listen to offers around £45 million or around €52 million, which again is a fair price for a player about to reach his prime years who has played in a top 5 league for the last few years and has impressed doing so. So, I've discussed all the options, went over the relevant details. Now all that's left to do is rank them from worst to best, although all the options I've mentioned are very good and shouldn't be viewed as mediocre. And number 5 is Sporting Lisbon's Gonzalo Higuain. Honestly, this is very difficult to do. As I said, these are all fantastic options, but personally I do rank the other 4 candidates higher than Sporting's man. Coming in at number 4 is Axel Disasi of Monaco. I actually think Disasi is a very well-rounded centre-back who would fit in quite well into the pace and the demands of the Premier League, and his price at €40 million is also very attractive for a player of his qualities. Number 3 now, and it's Edmund Tapsoba of Bayer Leverkusen. I actually rate Tapsoba very highly, and as we have worked with Bayer Leverkusen before, I would assume the relationship between Chelsea and the German side wouldn't be an issue. The main reason Tapsoba is 3rd and not 2nd is because I believe the player at number 2 has the ability to develop into a better player given the correct environment and nurturing which a manager like Pochettino can provide, all whilst being a little cheaper. Yes, and number 2 is Joshio Scalini. The 6'4", 19-year-old is already a fantastic player who, in my opinion, has all the hallmarks to become a mainstay in the Italian national side. He is that good. At €40 million, it's a steal for Scalini. And at number 1, it's the most expensive option and probably the hardest to pull off out of the 5, but it's Benfica's Antonio Silva. Silva, I believe, has the potential to be a top 5 centre-back of this new wave of talent. His footballing IQ, his understanding of space and timing and balance, coupled with a great build and confidence galore, makes Antonio Silva the perfect option to bring Chelsea back to competing for Premier Leagues and FA Cups. If Chelsea were to finalise a deal around €80 million, I'd be fine with it. Benfica are known for producing elite talent. Antonio Silva is elite talent. To be the best, you have to buy the best, and that is why Antonio Silva is my number 1 pick for the now vacant right-sided centre-back role. Well, that's about it. Let me know in the comment section down below if I've missed anything. Who do you think Chelsea should sign? Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're new. As a reminder, I am currently running a giveaway for 3 King of London lightsabers courtesy of ownersaber.com. The winner will be chosen when I hit 15,000 subscribers. I've been The Quick Take, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.